Allow me to introduce you guys to the best defender in the NBA.
Defended by Green for the lead. No! Ripping it off!
What possessed the Houston Rockets and Alperen Şengün to believe they should go against the best defender in the NBA with the game and potentially the series on the line? I mean, you heard Draymond Green after the play.
No, not on me.
Not scoring on me.
Yeah, I don't care how many Defensive Player of the Years they're going to give to Rudy Gobert and Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson Jr., it won't change what we have seen over the last decade. And it definitely won't change what we have seen in the playoffs, because time and time again, it is Draymond Green who is the best defender in basketball when it matters most. It doesn't matter who he's guarding, it doesn't matter how many fouls or technical fouls he has. If you want one player to get you a stop with the game on the line, I know who I'm taking every single time. And the fact he has only won one Defensive Player of the Year, that is a joke. And you know who else I'm taking with the game on the line? The guy who made the second biggest play from that sequence I just showed you. Yes, that is Jimmy Butler, who is suffering from a serious bum injury. No, that's actually what the injury is. Skying for a rebound in a crowd of players to seal the game. The same kind of play that got him injured. But Jimmy is a dog. Jimmy is a dog. And you know who made the biggest mistake? This guy. It wasn't Alperen Şengün for trying to attack Draymond Green. It wasn't Ime Udoka for keeping Jalen Green in the game. No, it was this absolute clown right here. The moment that happened, I knew the Warriors were winning this game. Have you not heard the stories about Jimmy Butler? Have you not seen when Grant Williams decided to do the same thing and Jimmy Butler single-handedly eliminated the Boston Celtics on the road to the NBA Finals? Have you not heard when Jeff Teague talked about Jimmy Butler bringing the third team and outplaying every single starter on the Minnesota Timberwolves in practice? Have you not heard about playoff Jimmy Butler? Dylan Brooks thinks he's that guy. Jimmy Butler actually is that guy. And I'm not just saying this to add to the video, just listen to what Jimmy said after the game. Do you know how many points Jimmy Butler had when Dylan Brooks decided to annoy him, to motivate him? He had 4 points near the end of the second quarter. He finished that half with 4 points. He ended the game with 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, leading the entire Warriors team in scoring. You guys do the maths. That is a 23-point second half, and not just any 23-point second half. This was a second half where he was probably operating at 50% health. I am being so serious. For anyone who watched the game, the way Jimmy Butler was moving, well, he really couldn't move. This was not a game that he would have played if it weren't the playoffs, but Dylan Brooks decided, let me give him extra motivation. Let me wake up this man who was on painkillers and struggling through the game, and that was the best decision Dylan Brooks could have made. Thank you, Dylan, for waking up the beast. Thank you, Dylan, for poking the bear. And when I say he shouldn't have even been playing, just listen to what Steve Kerr said about his injury.
Yeah, we had to have him. I mean, if this were the regular season, he'd probably miss another week or two, but it's the playoffs and he's Jimmy Butler.
But none of this mattered, because after Dylan Brooks decided to open his mouth, all of that pain went away, and he started things off by getting the pass from Buddy in semi-transition. He sees Brooks, and you know he's going to attack as he drives straight into him, and it's off glass. Later in the quarter, it's Jimmy again, getting to his spot, this time closer in and using that misdirection to bait Steven Adams, and having the ability and strength to still finish through the contact from the strongest man in the NBA. But it was the last quarter where he really showed up, starting the quarter off by deciding he would steal some of Steph's powers for a second and knock down a 3, before getting a couple of easier buckets as a result of some nice passes from Dre and Buddy. Yes, Buddy. Before one of the biggest plays of the game happened, with Pods getting the initial block on Fred, Jimmy got the ball, went straight past Brooks before going straight past Jabari Smith Jr. and finishing at the rim. And it wasn't just the scoring either, it was the playmaking, it was the defense, it was the zero no turnovers. From how he was moving to start the game, and I guarantee he will struggle to sleep and move for the next 2 days, but somehow he found the energy in that second half. He blocked out all of that pain and just turned into the playoff Jimmy that we know and love. But we need to talk about more than just Jimmy Butler. Despite finishing the game with the highest points on the team, it wasn't Jimmy who carried the offense most of the night. It wasn't Steph Curry, who the Rockets decided their one goal would be to stop Steph from touching the ball at all costs. No, I am being so serious. That was the Rockets' entire game plan. So that meant other players had to step up. We saw what Jimmy did in the second half. You know who else stepped up? Brandin Podziemski. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 3-pointers. You wanted Klay Thompson, you wanted Jordan Poole. How about a hybrid of both of those guys? Okay, maybe let's not go that far just yet, but he certainly played like that in this game. Just look at him here, where he slips to the basket off the Steph misdirection. Brooks slides over, so he kicks it to Jimmy, who takes Brooks off the dribble, kicking it back out to Pods, who is relocated and knocks down the 3. I know it's just one play, but I feel like that is such an encapsulation of what makes Pods great for this team. Understanding the initial play, making the pass, and then relocating, and then knocking down the shot. It's the little things, the intangibles that he has, from taking charges, to dropping dimes, to relocating. Obviously, the rebounding is one of the best rebounding guards in the league, despite not being the most athletic or the biggest, and obviously knocking down 40% of his threes, which is what he has done after the first 15 games of the season. That helps as well. This is a winning player who we saw make winning plays all throughout his rookie season before a bit of a slump in his second year, which had people calling him the worst player in basketball, and now he's dropping 25, 5 and 5 in a playoff game and leading the Warriors to a victory against the second seed. And he's not just doing it on offense. Oh no. There is a reason the Warriors are able to start Buddy Hield. It is because Brandin Podziemski has been a great point of attack defender for the Warriors for the last few months of the season. We know Moses Moody and what he can do defensively, but the reason they went for the shooting of Buddy Hield is because Pods has taken the assignment of going after the Jalen Greens, the Fred VanVleets, all of these guys, and doing a fantastic job coming up with that clutch block late in the game, which I showed you. But he is consistently fighting over screens. He's getting into the ball handler. He is pressuring them. He's doing everything you could hope for from him defensively. And honestly, the shooting is great, the playmaking is great, the scoring is great, the defense is what has stood out above everything else. But let's be honest, we were all shocked when we saw the starting lineup. It's okay. We were all shocked when we saw the return of not just Jimmy Butler, but alongside his best friend, Buddy Hield. And you know what? Steve Kerr made the right decision, because Buddy Hield has been absolutely amazing over the last 2 games. I'm sure you've heard about the Buddy Hield cycle, where he plays amazingly, then he doesn't play so well, and then he gets traded. That's where things were heading towards the end of the season, but I don't know what has happened. Buddy Hield has decided to not only remember to shoot, which has been really nice, but he has been great defensively the last few games. Even to the point where after the game, Steve Kerr said this about his defense.
Hey fellas, I'm going to utter some words that have never been spoken before by anybody on earth. Buddy Hield, you set the tone defensively.
I think we were all as shocked as Steve Kerr watching Buddy Hield turn into Gary Payton II on the perimeter whilst also knocking down threes. I don't know what has gotten into Buddy Hield. I don't know if it is the relationship between him and Jimmy Butler, but whatever it is, please keep playing like this, Buddy. Please keep playing like this, Buddy. That's all I'm gonna say. If you made it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, dropping a like on the video would be cool. Most importantly, have a great day. Bye.